Ever imagine yourself like tuning into a radio, and instead of music, you're catching whispers of, well, let's just say,
Yeah.
important conversations.
Yeah, like you're listening in on the secrets that keep the world spinning. That's the life of an intelligence communications interceptor.
Decoding those cryptic messages, translating them into action. It's like stepping into a spy thriller, but instead of, shadowy figures in trench coats.
We're talking about linguistic ninjas, tech wizards working behind the scenes to, well, keep us all safe.
Okay, so let's decode this career path, shall we? Picture this. You're stationed at a command post, headphones on, but instead of top 40 hits,
You're catching snippets of conversations, Yin, Russian, Mandarin, Arabic, you name it.
that's our Intelligence Communications Interceptor in action, right?
Exactly. They're like linguistic detectives, piecing together fragments of information, not just from radio waves, but satellite transmissions, undersea cables.
Wow, it's like tapping into the nervous system of the planet.
In a way, it is. And it's not just about understanding the languages. It's about analyzing patterns, recognizing anomalies, and extracting those crucial bits of intel that, frankly, could be the difference between a quiet day and a national crisis.
High stakes indeed. It's not just about deciphering languages, it's about like connecting the dots, predicting the next move on the global chessboard.
Yeah, no pressure. Right.
So not everyone is cut out for this kind of gig, that's for sure.
You got that right. It's not your typical 9 to 5. Think long hours, intense pressure, and the weight of knowing that your analysis could have, well, huge consequences. RoleCatcher, this amazing career guide we're using for our deep dive today, doesn't sugarcoat it, this line of work. It demands resilience, adaptability, and, let's be honest, a whole lot of caffeine.
Okay, so maybe not for the faint of heart, but imagine the sense of purpose, right?
Yeah.
You're contributing to something bigger than yourself, safeguarding national security from, well, the shadows. Plus, let's be real, that whole I can't tell you what I do for a living thing,
It's pretty cool.
it's got a certain mystique to it. But seriously, what are the rewards that make those grueling hours and intense pressure worth it?
Well, imagine cracking a code that leads to, I don't know, preventing a terrorist attack or uncovering a crucial piece of intel that informs, like, a major strategic decision.
Talk about a hint of accomplishment. Those Mission Impossible moments, but, in the real world.
Exactly. And beyond the adrenaline, there's the intellectual stimulation. You're constantly learning new languages, adapting to new technologies, facing these complex challenges that, keep you on your toes. It's not a job for someone who like wants a predictable routine. It's for those who thrive in a fast-paced, constantly evolving environment.
So for our listeners out there who are, maybe a little bit intrigued by all of this, by this whole world of intelligence communications interception, let's say you're hooked. Where do you even begin?
Well, RoleCatcher, they say a good place to start. It often starts with the Air Force.
Oh,
They have these training programs specifically designed to kind of mold like raw recruits into,
into code breakers.
yeah, top-notch interceptors.
Yeah.
Think of it as like boot camp for your brain.
Okay.
Intense, demanding, but ultimately, worth it in the end.
You can't exactly like stroll into, your local community college and sign up for Intro to Decoding Military Transmissions 101,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
So Air Force training is key, but are there,
Yeah.
are there ways to, get a head start? I mean, should aspiring interceptors be like brushing up on their Klingon or something?
I mean, Klingon, maybe not so much,
Oh, wait.
but having a really strong, solid foundation in languages, that's definitely key.
Right.
I mean, imagine you intercept a message, it's in Mandarin, and it holds the key to, some crazy situation. Your ability to understand those words, that could be like mission critical.
So those, high school language classes weren't a waste of time after all.
Absolutely not. And it's not just about, spoken languages.
Right.
Remember, we're talking about signals,
Mhm.
all sorts of signals. RoleCatcher, they recommend looking into fields like computer science, cybersecurity, even cryptography.
Okay, so we're talking tech skills on top of, like, fluency in multiple languages.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see why these folks are, in such high demand.
Yeah.
But it's not just about being able to, like, write code or speak Russian, right? You need those soft skills, too. You can't program a computer to, have intuition or
Yeah.
critical thinking skills.
Absolutely. And RoleCatcher, they emphasize that, the
Yeah.
importance of critical thinking, active listening. I mean, you're trying to pick out these very important whispers in a sea of, like, useless noise,
Right.
and of course the ability to like solve these complex puzzles and do it under pressure.
Yeah.
Because remember, you're not just like translating words on a page, you're analyzing patterns, you're connecting the dots, you're anticipating threats.
You're basically like a detective, a linguist, and a tech whiz all rolled into one, like it's Sherlock Holmes meets the Matrix or something like that. So, okay, you aced your training, you're fluent in multiple languages, both human and computer, and your critical thinking skills, they're razor sharp.
Yep.
What's next? I mean, what does the career ladder actually look like for an intelligence communications interceptor?
Well, you're not going to be, thrown into the deep end right away.
Right.
RoleCatcher, they outline this, like clear progression,
Okay.
starting with, entry-level roles where you're learning the ropes, you're assisting more, seasoned interceptor.
So like an apprenticeship.
Yeah, in a way,
Yeah.
you might be like tasked with monitoring certain frequencies or like transcribing intercepted messages or running some like basic analysis.
Right.
It's about building like a really solid foundation, mastering those tools of the trade, and just developing this like keen eye for detail for those very subtle things that,
Yeah.
can make all the difference.
Okay, so you've put in the work, you've learned from the best, honed your skills.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
Mm-hmm.
How do you climb those like intelligence ranks, become the code-breaking maestro?
That's where it gets really exciting.
Right.
As you get more experience, more expertise under your belt, you start to move beyond those basic tasks,
Yeah.
You take on more responsibility. Maybe you're even leading like your own team of interceptors.
Wow.
Imagine like briefing high-ranking officials on what you found, your insights actually like shaping those big decisions.
Yeah, talk about a career with like real impact, right?
Absolutely.
From, deciphering those whispers to actually like shaping national strategies. That's quite the trajectory.
Yeah.
But this isn't the kind of field that, comes with a like step-by-step instruction manual.
Right.
Especially these days, tech changing so fast. How do, seasoned interceptors make sure they're staying ahead of the curve?
Well, RoleCatcher, they're big on this whole continuous learning thing.
Yeah, makes sense.
Advanced degrees, certifications. They even mention things like the CEH.
The what?
The CEH, Certified Ethical Hacker.
Hold on. Certified ethical hacker. That sounds like something out of like a movie or something.
Oh, right.
Like hacking the mainframe.
It's a real thing.
That-
Basically, it's learning to think like a hacker, ethically, of course,
Right.
to, find those weak points, strengthen those security systems.
So you're basically like one step ahead of the bad guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, technology, it's changing so fast.
Yeah.
The stuff that got you in the door, it's not going to be enough to, keep you at the top.
Right.
You got to constantly be learning, adapting.
So it's not enough to just like rest on your laurels. You got to
Right.
keep pushing it.
Keep learning.
Okay. So besides, those certifications, that constant upskilling, what else does RoleCatcher, what else do they say about,
They have a good tip. They say, build a portfolio.
portfolio?
Yeah, not just, your regular resume, but like a showcase of what you can do. Past projects, research, maybe even simulations.
Oh, interesting.
Real world stuff.
So like proof that you can, not just talk the talk,
Yeah, walk the walk.
you can actually like crack those codes when it matters.
Exactly.
I like it. Okay, so portfolio, staying up to date. Anything else?
Don't forget about networking.
Oh, right, networking.
Conferences, connecting with, people in the field.
Right.
Because it's not just what you know.
It's who you know.
Exactly.
It's all about making those connections.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked a lot about RoleCatcher today.
They're a great resource.
Yeah, a lot of insights from their platform. For our listeners who are, thinking about taking that next step, what are some of the specific things that RoleCatcher can help them with?
Interview prep, they're great for that.
But-
They've got this huge database of practice questions.
Oh, wow.
Tailored to like, intelligence roles.
So you're not going in there,
Yeah.
blind.
No, you're prepared. And they even have AI-powered feedback. It's like having a personal coach in your pocket,
Very cool.
Yeah, helping you refine your answers.
Okay, so interview prep, that's huge. What else?
Job board, they've got a great job board.
Of course, yeah.
It pulls listings from all over the intelligence community.
So you don't have to like scour the internet trying to find those,
One-stop shop.
Okay, great.
And their resume analysis, that's AI-driven too. It can, help you identify any gaps in your skills, your experience, make sure your application's, top-notch.
RoleCatcher really does sound like a secret weapon for, anyone who's serious
That's a great tool.
about a career in intelligence.
It is.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive here into the world of intelligence communications interception, what's the key takeaway? What's that one thing you want our listeners to remember?
It's not easy. It's demanding. It takes dedication, resilience, But for those who are up for the challenge, who really thrive in that kind of high pressure, constantly changing world,
Yeah.
it's a chance to be at the forefront of keeping us safe.
To make a real difference.
Absolutely.
It's not just a job, it's almost like a calling in a way.
It is.
It's about, using your skills, your passion to protect, to defend,
And to listen.
to listen closely
Yeah.
and really understand what you're hearing.
And to act on it.
Exactly.
When it matters most.
So to our listeners, we ask you, are you ready to listen between the lines? Are you ready to, decode those secrets, shape the future?
The answer's out there.
The answer lies within you.